Welcome to the Gamer Dad podcast, where we talk about all things Magic the Gathering and gaming. We strive to keep things fun, fit into our busy lives, because gaming's worth finding time for. I'm Gamer Dad Bob, a 30-year Magic the Gathering veteran who's played formats from Legacy to Standard to Commander, and I've brewed some absolute nonsense decks over the years. Jesse can vouch for that, but nothing quite as chaotic and as fun as what our guest brings to the table tonight.
And I am Jesse Hoagie, also a 30-year Magic the Gathering vet, dad of 2 gamer girls, a guitar player of questionable skill, and the guy who somehow still blames Mana Screw for all his life problems.
That's right. It bleeds into real life when you get mana screwed. Tonight we are joined by Jane Judge. You might know her as Jane Plays Magic, Grixis, evil dungeon master, community builder, and con regular now. I've seen you at every con for like the last couple of years.
I'm doing my best.
We're going to get into all of it, the decks, the content, the community, what exactly is a Hex Girl, and yes, the person behind it all. But before we dive in, remember this podcast is powered by you, our listeners. If you'd like to support what we do, head over to Patreon. Most of what's there is free. It's kind of where I post my blogs, essays, deeper thoughts around MTG, the podcast, production work. If you want to chip in a few bucks, it helps keep everything running. The podcast, the gear, the time it takes to get this stuff right. It's completely optional, but it is the best place to keep up with everything happening behind the mic. And also don't forget to stick around for flavor text or song lyrics at our midway point. Will Jesse try to stump me with some obscure card or pull something off my playlists? And before we really jump in, let's talk a little bit about who we have sitting with us today, because this is someone whose presence has genuinely made waves across the MTG community. Jane, as most of you know her, Jane Plays Magic, has built one of the most creative corners of the Commander scene. She's the Grixis witch behind the Hex Girls themed pods. She's dabbled in CEDH, just told me she has a CEDH tournament coming up very soon. Cooked up some new formats, or at least I think so, in Secret Partners, and somehow makes it all look effortless. She's a Las Vegas creator, cosplayer, dungeon master, and full-time community builder. Her audience keeps growing, over 1,500 subscribers on YouTube, more than 1,600 followers on Blue Sky, and a few hundred loyal regulars tuning in on Twitch. Those might sound just like numbers, but what they really show is connection. People show up because her tables are fun, inclusive, and authentic. Jane has championed marginalized voices, lifts up the trans community, and brings that come-as-you-are energy to every Commander table she touches. Her streams mix style, personality, and play skill in a way that's completely her own. And if you've caught her live, you already know that energy is contagious. We're thrilled to have her here today to talk magic, creativity, and what it means to show up as your full self in this hobby. Jane, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's so crazy to hear you say all of that about me. I'm really here living my dreams, just playing some Magic the Gathering for everyone to watch. And you do want to watch, and I'm so honored.
And it's all true. At least Jane approved it, so it's definitely true, right? So diving right in here. So I like kind of getting people's Magic origins, and not for like the sense of, give me your Magic credentials and why it's important on how long you've been playing and everything. But like, I feel like seeing you in an interview, maybe it was with Shivam, you mentioned that Lord of the Rings was your entry point. Is that correct? So
yeah.
Did Universes Beyond do its job here? Tell me a little bit about that.
I do think so. I started playing Magic in 2020. I was a COVID Magic baby. And I did just mostly stuff at home. And then my partner and I just went to the LGS one Friday. We were like, okay, it's time. I'm going to go do a draft. Let's try that out. And it ended up accidentally being the pre-release for Lord of the Rings, which we didn't know was a thing at all. And was the most magical experience of, anything that I've ever done in Magic. And I drew Gollum, Patient Plotter, and I was like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Before this, I had just been playing for my partner's collection, who loves Selesnya. So he had traded away all of his cards that weren't like, little token creators or big stompy guys.
Yeah.
And Gollum was a graveyard kind of mechanic. And so I built this deck about graveyard mechanics. And that was the thing that really was like, okay, I'm into this. It has stuff that I like too.
So did knowing the Lord of the Rings lore kind of help you understand the cards a little bit better? I'm assuming that's what pulled you in also, right?
Absolutely. I am an extended versions Lord of the Rings girly. I know all the little facts about Viggo Mortensen's toe and the tomato and,
Love it. Freaking love it.
So fun fact,
Okay.
Viggo
I'm
Mortensen
definitely
is
a fan.
actually from my hometown.
Really?
Yeah,
So
his
interesting.
parents raised him in Watertown, New York. That's where I'm from.
Small world, huh?
And you've
Yeah, it was
never
pretty
met
fun
him.
when it was like the whole movies were in the theaters and stuff. I was like, hey, he's from my town.
That's cute.
I think one of our best is like Kelsey Grammer's from like Saratoga or something, Jesse.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Jesse and I grew up in the same area. We do not live near each other anymore, though.
Yeah.
I decided to move south into better weather. I got tired of the winters. And now I'm thinking
Same.
about moving back north. So what do you remember about picking up the game for the first time? So we have playing your partner's decks, right? And you got a heavy dose of Selesnya. Were there any
Yes.
decks that you looked at from his stuff and then you're like, well, I don't quite like this, so I think I'm going to try and build something? What made you go, yeah, this is my jam?
My partner realized I was getting bored, I think. And he got some of the dual decks. We had Obnixilis versus Nissa, so I, of course, played the evil Obnixilis. Lots of hot cards in that deck. It was really fun. But the one that really got me was the Might versus Mind dual decks. And the Mind one, you have like this 3 cards in a row that you have to play. And if you do them all on one turn, you get to go in your deck for free and find the Unspeakable and put it out on the battlefield. And he didn't tell me about that. So he just sat me down with the sleeved up deck and was like, here you go. You're going to solve this little puzzle. And that was
interesting.
Maybe the best Magic experience I've ever had. Somebody just handed me a deck that was a little puzzle I didn't know was coming. And yeah, that was quite the experience.
And you solved it, it sounds like, too, as you were playing.
It took me a few games. I didn't do it the first time. And I was like, I don't want to shuffle. I don't want to see. I don't want to know what's in there. I want to find this out like naturally through the game. So yeah.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
It was really fun. I highly recommend the dual decks. They're maybe one of the best Magic products out there, in my opinion.
I think any of those kinds of decks are a really good entry point into TCG. Like, my son is into Pokemon, and I'm trying to find some of those decks, but of course, scalpers get them all first. But I love those dual decks, the entries. I mean, I remember Angels versus Demons, those dual decks from the 2010s, right? Those were fun too. And Jace versus Chandra, that was some of the first Planeswalker decks I saw. I didn't know what the hell a Planeswalker was. I was like, what do you mean they have Planeswalk? Like, what Planeswalk? Yeah, they can attack into plane. No, these are a different card type altogether, Bob. I was out of Magic for so long and came back in like prime Lorwyn Planeswalkers coming into Origins here, and oh my gosh, talk about drinking from a fire hose. I can't imagine what your life has been like here. And
it's
then
so
you
beautiful.
Gravitated, and then
I get to play a game, and then every time someone shows me a new card that is just a fresh experience to me.
So, and then you gravitated toward Grixis, right? Which is the blue, black, and red shard. So was it Sauron? Was it Saruman? Was it, what was inspiring there? I love Grixis.
I went shopping for precons, and I was like, okay, I want a vampire. I want something that does sacrifice. And I found the new Capenna one on Hello the Painter. That's my very first Grixis deck, and I haven't taken it apart to this day because I just love playing it. I think the commander deck just in the box plays so incredibly well. It's a perfect power level to not be totally overpowering if other people are playing precons, but also you get to play 26 tap 2/2 zombies sometimes. It's very exciting. It's a deck with a lot of drama and flair in it. Chris Mooney did this deck. He also made Parnessa, who's like maybe the more powerful alternate commander in that one, but Angelo's got the flavor. But Chris Mooney also did the Avatar decks, so I'm really, really excited to play with the cards in there. He was the head designer for this one.
You have them pre-ordered then?
Of course.
Love it. So it was always Grixis, never dabbled in like the Esper shard, the white, blue, black, or Bant, the white, blue, green, or...
I did think I was Demir originally. And then I was like, red is a little too crazy. I don't know. I don't want to just discard my stuff. I didn't like exiling my cards and not doing some sort of graveyard value thing with them. But then, the red really accelerates the On Hello deck in a way that no other color can really do. It just makes it go a little faster, Goblin Mayhem.
Jesse, you love red decks.
I love red decks. Like, I think I have a hard time thinking of any deck that doesn't have red other than Selesnya. I'm a big Selesnya guy too. My first ever commander deck I had was Selesnya, and it was Rise of the Redeemed. And that actually had like the original duels that had a Gaze Cradle in there, and then I sold my cards. But yeah, red is I'm always a Jund guy usually, so I'm always using the red. Was there an early moment where your deck did the thing that it was supposed to do, and what did it feel like finally to dial that in? I mean, I think you already described it with kind of the puzzle thing that you had.
Yeah, I do love the puzzle, but honestly, when I was first building that Golem deck, my very first commander deck I ever made, my partner was like, is this even going to work? Does this do something? You know, because he's just pinging you for one every time. It's just like the smallest little thing. And then when it finally happened and I was like, okay, this is going to work. You know, I'm building it out of chaff. So it took a few tries, but we got there and we got something that really, you know, it slapped. And that was really fun to design something that wasn't just something that was handed to me in a little Magic package, you know?
I think a lot of everybody's commander experience, it's like, I'm just throwing these cards in a pile of 100 singleton. I think there's some synergy here. Let's see what it does. And then you kind of you refine it from there. And it's like, okay, now I've got some combos. Now I've got some synergy. Now I can do the thing. And I think that's really cool that you kind of found that in the Golem deck. Sorry, Jesse.
I love playing a hot stack of garbage. It's so moving.
I was going to say, that's like everybody's commander experience, really, is you have your first deck is just the cards that you like. It's like, oh, these are my favorite cards. I'm going to throw them all into like, oh, this doesn't work, so let's try this. And then it's kind of like just iterating on it every single time you change it.
Yep, Jesse and I saying the same thing. That's so wild that just popped into our heads there like that. So you came into Magic, Jane, in a very connected area, right? There was such an amount of content. There's Discord servers left and right. I've lost count of the amount of ones that I'm a member of at this point. There's online pods, Spell Table. It's such a different starting point than a lot of us had in Magic the Gathering. How do you think that shaped what Magic means to you in particular?
Well, funnily enough, for the first 2 years that I played Magic, I didn't really engage with any of that. You know, my partner, I had some questions or whatever. They showed me a professor video and I was like, okay, that seems like it's for nerds. Took me a few years to figure out I was one of them. But I think I just didn't really engage with the Magic content that was out there because, you know, partially it just didn't feel for me. It was focused on making decks more powerful and that wasn't really a problem I was encountering. So it wasn't something I really wanted to watch. I only really started getting into like the online community when I started being a creator. And that's just because I was in them now. And it's more fun to be in a community that you can actively participate in, at least in my experience. So until I had something to say, I didn't come in.
What was your first play group like, if you remember that? And do you still play with those people?
I do. My first play group was just kind of my local community, my friends. We got a lot of them into Magic because, you know, we didn't have a lot of Magic playing friends. But it turns out there are a bunch of weird nerds in Las Vegas who like to play Magic too. So we found them all. And, you know, some people from my very first play group moved to the Netherlands. And so we have like an every other week spell table game with them. I think Magic is such a great way to stay connected with people. And it has really been that kind of through line in my life.
It is a good way.
I feel bad.
Yeah, like Bob said, he moved away and we still play Commander over spell table. So it's definitely a great way to stay connected.
It's a great excuse to sit down.
She said the Netherlands, and I'm like, now I feel bad because I have one of my good college roommate friends is Dutch. He lives in the Netherlands now, and I'm like, I never talk to him, and we never play because of the time difference.
You went to Amsterdam together to the MagicCon?
I went to MagicCon. I went to MagicCon Amsterdam, but I haven't talked to him much since. It's yeah.
You got to wake up early in the morning.
I got to do better.
It's funny because you're friends with him, and I also was in online games with him too. So it's like we swap friends back and forth. It was like, did any other creators help pull you in early, or was it more like friends that were kind of polishing things up?
Oh, I was so lucky. When I very first went to a MagicCon, I went to MagicCon Vegas in 2024. This was like right when I was first kind of toying with the idea of being a content creator. And I came to MagicCon and I met some of the people in Birds of Paradise. And I went and sat at their purple tables at the MagicCon thing. And it was like a, you know, safe space for queer gamers or whatever. And I met so many cool people. And those connections are really what skyrocketed me to where I am today. And I'm so grateful to the people who talked to me when I came and I was nobody with weird decks and a weird outfit on. But, you know, everyone wanted to say hi. The Magic community is very open and welcoming. What'd you say?
The Gathering Grounds. That's where I spent most of my time in Atlanta this year. I was hanging out with the Pendragon crew.
The Gathering Grounds is rad.
It is really cool. There's you get so many people in and out of there too. Like if someone's standing with a clicker, I mean, the amount of people that rotate in and out from those tables, it's wild. And the Birds of Paradise booth was always packed, right?
I love it. I love it.
Always packed, as I observed.
That representation really matters. You know, we find each other.
For sure. And you know, we'll touch on this a little bit later, but like having that welcoming presence is so important as a creator in general.
Yeah.
You don't want to put up those walls. You need to be there for everybody, and you have to truly care about it, because you're not going to succeed if you don't truly care, if that's not who you are. So when did it go from playing games with your local play group to sharing them, to recording them, putting them up on YouTube, to streaming them? What made you decide, yeah, I'm going to hit that live button?
I guess I had already had a little bit of training. I had done some D&D streaming, and I was looking for a new way to do something that I streamed like a game on Twitch. And so Magic kind of filled that space for me, because I was really nervous. You have to get 3 people together to do a Twitch stream. It is a big ask. Gathering 3 of your little friends together to do a game on a certain time, and they have to look a certain way, be presentable, show up, have all their lights on and whatever, you know, it's really, really hard to do. But luckily there are like, you know, a good 50 of us that are very motivated and all come on each other's streams. So ever since I started, it has been easy to fill pods, and I'm so grateful for the community for doing that for each other.
Was it nerve-wracking at first?
I don't know. It's kind of nerve-wracking, but like I said, I had training, and, you know, performance is in my blood. I need a little something to get me nervous and ready to go. I always have, you know, some weird performance that I'm planning or, you know, moving towards. And Magic gives you so many opportunities to do that, you know, at Magic Cons, which is my favorite thing in the world, doing the spectacle plays, doing events. I love to do that kind of like crowd work and big performance in person.
What was was it spectacle play that you had with Brad and Steph? Was and it was like weird first person cameras.
That wasn't a spectacle play. They just had a table over in the creator zone at MagicCon Atlanta, and they let the creators apply to like have an hour or 2 there. We just filmed an episode in VR 360 because I have a little VR 360 camera. So I just brought it. I hooked it up. If you go to my YouTube, you know, you can go sit at the convention and watch, like, you know, the decked out crew have a meet and greet right next to us playing an episode of Magic. It's wild. It's really, really fun.
Yeah, I caught it on your channel. I was like, what am I looking at here? This is a very different camera angle than I'm used to for these kinds of games.
You can click and drag around if you want to watch, and if you have a VR headset, you can plug right in so you can see.
I wish I could do that.
I'll have to try that with my...
I'd get motion sick. Jesse, you're going to have to tell me.
Yeah,
I have... it's not the Quest 3, it's the Quest 2, but I have that. I'll have to try that.
Yeah, our VR camera shoots in 8K, so it should look crisp and delicious.
Wow. So you've built this real identity with your Hex Girls pods. First, I'm going to put my old man hat on because I truly don't know this. What is a Hex Girl, and can I be one? And then second, like, how did the idea start for these?
Okay. So a Hex Girl is a Scooby-Doo fake band. So it's like a 3-girl band. They're all goth. They're all witchy. They're gorgeous. They're punk, you know. It's this sort of like witchy band that, like, you know, defends a castle. There's like a, you know, a big monster who like comes and is threatening them. The Scooby-Doo people save them. Whatever. They did a couple of these movies. They're great.
Okay.
The Hex Girls songs, though, spectacular. And the styling on them is like such classic 90s goth girl punk. Like, it's a real cult sensation, I would say, with the girlies, especially the gay girlies. So everyone had a favorite Hex Girl that you had a crush on and a Hex Girl that you wanted to be. So it was very, very easy to get people to build Hex Girl decks because everyone had this emotional connection to them. And, you know, I'm doing a couple of other media tie-ins and stuff like that, like maybe Powerpuff Girls and things like that. Stuff that people have a real strong color identity associated with, as well as an emotional connection to. But out of all of them, Hex Girls is definitely the one that took the pod by storm.
And we've seen like the all braids pods, right? Mm-hmm. The you had an all venom pod also.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're getting a theme here, right?
I love to do a silly theme, you know? I am a sucker for a mini game or, you know, anything like that.
I didn't write this question down, but do you find that you kind of role play a little bit in these pods? Do you almost, you get to put on your dungeon master hat and you get to role play a little bit as well for these pods as you're going, as you build the themes out?
Most definitely. I will put on a silly voice and I have a little attitude and energy about it. I really love that. I think something that Magic fills for me is that like play space where you can be an adult and it is still acceptable for you to do a silly voice and do a little play thing together. It's really a space where people are open to that kind of magic and that kind of connection. And that's, I thrive on that.
I always joke that one of these days, of course, I can't do this now because I don't, but Jesse, do you remember I used to joke and say that I was going to sit down at our FNM and role play the entire night
Yep.
as a planeswalker playing the deck? I used to threaten that and say, I am Bob the Enchanter and I cast Counterspell and I would have gotten kicked out so fast. But that's the kind of safe space that you have where people can be someone else at the table.
I love that. Put on your secret identity with me.
Yeah. You've also been running something called Secret Partners, and I have to know, is this something that you've cooked up? Because I haven't seen that in any sub formats or anything.
Oh.
And the idea that I of it sounds so fun and so insanely chaotic. Can you talk to us a little bit about that format of EDH and just describe what it is?
Yeah, it's really such a blast. Okay, so before the pod sits down, I have my partner, who is not in the pod, assign a name to everybody. So he just randomizes our names and hands out a name to everybody. Sometimes he'll do a little pod design to mess with me, like, changing patterns or whatever. But everybody has an assigned partner. And you win if only you and your partner are left on the board. But if your partner dies, you can't win. That is just off the table. So it's like an alternate win con, a secret, and also a diplomacy game rolled into one. So there's a lot of like trying to throw people off, like not trying to say who's your secret partner in the beginning. There's a lot of drama involved in this. So I think it's really fun. I actually did not invent this though. I did steal it.
Well,
I think I watched it on a Tabletop Jocks episode, actually.
I was going to say, who deserves the credit there? Let's make sure that they get that if we can.
I do think the Tabletop Jock stole it too, so it's something that's been out there for a while.
Man, and
so I highly suggest if you want to do it on your channel, please play some Secret Partners. Minigames are so fun.
That has got to be so wild. Like, and obviously there's the unspoken rule, right? I can't be like, Jesse, come on, we got to do this. Get your shit together, Like, we got to win this.
Sometimes people do that though, and that works as a bluff, as a different tactic. There have been people with all sorts of strategies that come to the Secret Partners table. Sometimes people don't know that we're doing that or, don't build decks around it. But I've had people come on with the deck that is like, I'm going to kill it Secret Partners with this deck. So, yeah.
That's a whole new dynamic that I haven't thought of.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I did come up with one mini game, which I think is such a blast. And if you want to steal this one, please feel free also. It's called Chaos EDH, where we have a random Scryfall card on the screen and anyone can cast it with mana of any color. That one's it's cool. Really intense. It speeds games up quite a bit.
Is it like one cast or cast it anytime you want?
You cast it, and if you cast it, a new card comes up. So sometimes people cast it just to get it out of the way. So there's a new really something. Cool. Yeah, it's fun.
That's really cool.
I know Joe Kilcar is playing that now on his channel. So
and it's completely random. Like you don't choose it; it's just random. Wow,
sometimes it's a crappy one, and we just all like agree to that one sucks, and we're gonna switch it. It's very vibes based.
Cool, and you do CDH too. You're pretty much doing everything. You went all in on that. Do you flip like a switch mentally to go from like casual to competitive?
This may surprise you, but I play CEDH almost exactly the same way I play casual.
That's
if we're on my channel, CEDH has takesies backsies. We're talking about people's turns. Like, I don't know. I get that it's serious and we're competitive and we're all trying to win, yes. But like, what if we all tried to learn how to play a CEDH deck better together? Would that be more fun?
Right. So does that change the dynamic of CEDH for you guys? So you mentioned that there's, you guys get to do takesy backsies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like I fumbled a combo and the rest of the table is going to be like, here's how it could have gone. And then you kind of walk through it.
Sometimes it's like that. For people who are very new or playing a combo for the first time. Yeah, I do think that's really helpful. People did it for me when I started playing Tassiger and my, 20-step hoarding Broodlord combo. Lord knows, I needed a lot of help trying to learn how to do this in the beginning. Sometimes I would tutor for the wrong thing and people would be like, oh, wait, you're going to get stuck there, I think that kind of learning is really helpful. And as I have grown as a CEDH player, now I don't need that anymore. And I can take off those training wheels. But I really enjoy the space to have the training wheels and not feel like an idiot when you mess something up and your friends are like, ha ha, you suck. It's a different vibe than that.
Did you stream those or were those offline to start?
My very first ones were offline. I was so nervous. I was like, I'm going to mess up every piece of this. I wrote flashcards, like color-coded and stuff. Like, I don't... If I'm playing casual, I'm very low stakes about it. But if I'm playing competitive, I am here to win and I'm here to crush you and I need to do well. My emotional well-being rests on this in a way that it probably shouldn't. So, even when we're playing casual CEDH, we're trying to win. It's not like totally free for all, whatever goes.
I don't know, Jesse. It sounds like Jane does flip the switch.
It does. It does.
It's there.
It's there, and there's a certain point at which, we're in a tournament. There's no takesies backsies here. There are spaces for certain things, but, that's the code switching of Magic the Gathering. You got to be able to read the vibe.
Speaking of switching, okay, no, that's kind of a bad segue. So do you tend to prep or play different decks for camera as opposed to like just offline with your friends? Does your deck building change? Sometimes Jesse and I know this all too well. We feel the pressure to build these decks to perform on camera when we're streaming them. You know what I mean? And it's like sometimes it's more than just like the deck needs to be efficient, but how big is the thing that it does? How fun is the thing that it does? And I mean, I build to do the thing. Jesse, I think you'd agree. I'm a much more casual Commander player than you are in general, but my deck builds sometimes bleed into competitive anyway, but I don't necessarily play the decks cutthroat. There's kind of so do you kind of prep your decks different? Do you play them different depending on what's going on? How does that go for you?
Yeah, I think kind of no matter what deck I'm building for the drama, for the entertainment, for the excitement. Even if I'm playing just personally, that's the thing that I like about Magic. So all of my decks are built to do a big, dramatic, exciting thing, not necessarily to win. But I'm in the kind of unique spot where my play groups offline are very low power usually, like 1 to 2 bracket at the most. People are playing with chaff. My friends who are local maybe don't buy a lot of cards or even go to pre-releases and stuff like that. So I have to sort of code switch, shift my energy, shift my attitudes, and play with them at a lower power level, a lower, competitiveness level, which is fine, which is fun. Honestly, sometimes I will play my decks that are 3s and 4s, and I will just play entirely differently, not necessarily wrong, but like with a different energy and a different goal in mind. And that's fine. You could sit at a table with any kinds of decks together as long as you have the right vibes.
That's true.
But then online people are playing 4s and 5s and, content creators go crazy. If you have access to all of the tools, you're going to use them. So people who have a larger Magic library, a larger collection, you have to play differently around people who have been playing for 30 years like you guys.
Well, both of us sold our collections, so we're not as
originally. Yeah, we're definitely down
both of
a little
you could probably
bit.
quote Guy's Cradle from memory. So
yeah,
I have to play
true.
differently around people who know these tools that I don't always understand.
That's true, and there's a lot of you talked about this last week. A lot of insider lingo and everything that isn't explicitly there for people. Like if I talk about Bob, the card Bob, many people actually don't know that's Dark Confident.
I am going to say I did not know that one. I know a lot of them. I know the Steve,
And to be fair, that's fine. And that's Bob. Steve,
Mm-hmm.
What about Sad Robot? Do you know Sad Robot?
I do know Sad Robot, yes.
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
I play CEDH now, so I'm learning all the little words.
See, this is perfect. So, I find that I will definitely be able to play suboptimal lines in strong decks to kind of balance things out depending on how the table situation is too, right? So you don't have to play the optimal play for the board state given the time, especially if like you want to just prolong the game and hang out with your friends longer. It's like, I don't know, I could win right now, or I could do this and continue the gameplay.
That board wipe, babes.
Right? So, pitch that board wipe.
Yeah, there are multiple times where someone in our pod has a way to end the game right then and there. but we're like, I'm not going to do that yet because we've only been playing for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like we want to play a little bit longer. It's happened multiple times, I think. So
Usually it's from you.
Yeah, because like Miram or Edgar or something that will go off, and I'll have like the
Happens
perfect
when you play a
draw.
heater.
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, I could kill everybody now, and then I don't, and then 10 minutes later I regret it because I'm dead.
True story.
So across the YouTube, Twitch, Blue Sky, all social media stuff, you have probably a lot of different following, but a lot of crossover for the following. Does each space feel different to you, or is it kind of like all the same and it just doesn't matter like what color the icon is that you're going to be on that day?
I mean, there's some truth to that, but each individual space has a different community, a different energy. Like Blue Sky is where all the girlies are. That's where, the gay people hang out online. Twitter is a hellscape that nobody posts on anymore. They all have a different energy. I really like Twitch. The people are chatty. It's a great vibe in the room. It's very companionly because everyone is talking to each other real time. And YouTube is sort of like, I don't know, screaming into the wind and hoping 3 people will hear you. And, those 3 people hear you and they come watch all your content. And I love them.
Yeah. How do you feel? Like, what's your honest feeling about the engagement in Blue Sky?
It's weird because I have been on so many different social medias where it's really, really easy to grow. Blue Sky is very difficult to grow on. The algorithms don't really prioritize good content. They just show you all of the most recent content, which has its benefits. It also has its drawbacks, Every algorithm is going to make choices and they're going to hurt somebody. Content creators can grow really easy on algorithms like Instagram's, but also Instagram's algorithm is deeply punishing for those of us who don't conform. So
yeah, that's interesting because I even find myself guilty of this on Blue Sky. Like I will like a post, but I don't click the button. I'll just kind of nod silently and scroll on.
Yeah.
And I think that's Blue Sky in a nutshell. It's most people in Blue Sky right now vibe with each other. And the validation feedback loop doesn't exist right now. And we still need to train each other. Oh shit, I like that. Let me hit that like button. Let me repost that because no algorithm is feeding that. And by the way, everything in Blue Sky is so fleeting. Like if you ever see yourself post something, it's gone from your feed in minutes. You have to scroll down for 6-7 scrolls before you even see your post again, and you're like, oh, that's why I have no likes on that. It's
retweet
like
your friends, retweet artists you like. It's free.
Exactly. That we need to train each other better for Blue Sky. That's actually a really good question, Jesse. So segueing off of that, actually, so seeing is the followings that you have and everything, are you like elbow deep into the analytics on like YouTube like I am, or are you just kind of like going on vibes and kind of like, okay, this one worked, maybe I can lean into this, or are you a little combination of the two?
I mean, I have looked at the stats pretty at length, I would say, but I am, kind of doing this as a side hustle still, and I'm putting every spare moment of my energy that I can in. So I'm just grateful for whatever I can do. Content creation is always a formula. There are ways to use an algorithm to succeed, and you have to learn those. So if you don't look at your stats and you don't learn those little pieces, then you won't succeed. That's just a part of the job.
Yeah,
it's
then
boring,
you're just
but
banging your head against the wall with the same thing, a true definition of insanity at that point.
Yeah.
Unless that's just your brand, right? Because it is important to stay true to yourself also, right? Because I'm not someone to start with, breaking down why avatar card is controversial or not, or something, that's not my brand. So I'm not going to dig into that side of content. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to refine that based on the stats that I see. Yeah. So that's a really good point too. So pivoting, you have this like whole other side now as this cosplayer, as a DM, as a dungeon master. And when did that creative side start crossing over with your Magic content, or which came first? I think I know the answer, but
so I've been playing D&D and role-playing games like Vampire the Masquerade and stuff forever. This is actually how I got into the nerd space. This is the thing that I found out that I love to do, because you get to dress up and play a little character and do a little voice, and everyone else is doing that, and that's exactly what I would like to do. So I really love D&D. I am the person who shows up with a 3-page backstory. I am here with the outfit and the energy. So I really, really love that part. And that has, really increased the size of my costume closet as well. I did Monsters University, my first D&D game, live streamed before I came and did Magic stuff. It just really turns out that the people are watching Magic content in a way that they aren't watching RPGs. There's a
Yep.
different level of investment that you have to have as a viewer. And watching an RPG is a weekly thing, and you are like, kind of committed for like a long period of your life to this magic or to this D&D content. And Magic games, you can just watch one. You can just watch half of it.
Yep. Did you? So you Vampire the Masquerade mentioned. Did you also LARP
Yes.
Vampire the Masquerade?
I never did any LARPing, but I did do a lot of Vampire the Masquerade games. I DM'd a few. I was in a bunch here in Vegas. It was really fun.
Okay. Our buddy Matt from our pod did some LARPing with Vampire. I did too in college for a hot minute. Realized that one of my buddies from college is actually friends with our buddy Matt, and they don't live near each other. It was the strangest thing. It was, but the point is, it was all because of Vampire the Masquerade LARP. Like, these sorts of things bring people together. So that's,
they do.
I think it's great that that's that other part of you here that I find very interesting, and it just paints the whole picture, right? Who is Jane?
Have you tried any of the Vampire the Masquerade video games?
I have. The soundtrack's incredible.
They're incredible.
The gameplay
soundtracks.
is not exactly for me. I'm a quest person.
Yeah, the second one just came
person.
out. Bloodlines 2 just came out. I haven't picked it up yet. It's probably one of those like on sale. I'll pick it up things. But I played the first Bloodlines for I don't know how many hours. I was so into that.
The first one was pretty fun. Yeah,
it was good. Like the gameplay, like the combat wasn't so good, but the story was, and the environment, and like the whole vibe was really cool.
It's got a real aesthetic. Vampire. You should try it. They're really fun.
It's good. The first one, we're talking like, I think it was over 10 years ago the first one came out.
Yeah.
So it's very old graphics, very blocky, but the story is phenomenal. And the second one, I think, came out 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it's a lot different, obviously, but I hear it's pretty good. It's not like the best, but it's pretty good.
I think as far as story and vibes, like Vampire really hits for me because it's almost like magical realism. It's like the real world, like,
Exactly. I think
Vampire
it's in
LA
Seattle,
or whatever.
Right?
Yeah. And it's just a little bit of extra magic on top of it. And that's really cool. I think that's fun to play with.
So it looks like you blend performance and play a lot. Is that something that just comes naturally, or do you have to kind of force yourself to do it?
I mean, I kind of structured my entire life so that I could do this for everything. I think, here in the US, we have sort of a lack of third spaces and a lack of adult play spaces. This is something that's sort of had a resurgence in recent years. Like escape rooms have become a thing. And like, I don't know, men go to like axe throwing places where you have a rustic axe, you chop into a log. It's role playing. It's a public space where you can go be a different person for a few hours. You can pretend to have this energy that you don't normally have. And I think we as a society are really hungry for that. That used to be filled with other kinds of spaces, like religious community spaces and stuff like that. And we don't really have those as much anymore. When's the last time you went to an event at your local library? It's just not something that we do anymore. So we're thirsty for those spaces and we're looking for them online. Yeah. You do this for your kids, but like as an adult, you don't ever have these opportunities to like let that creative piece of you out. And Magic really allows you to do performance. It allows you to do creative building. It allows you to do math with your friends. All these things you lose from growing up.
That's what I always say about Magic, is that it really made me good at math. That's the only reason I'm good at math.
It really does.
Magic.
Not because you were a computer science major?
I mean, that helped, but it's all because of Magic.
Magic the Gathering helps with math. You heard it here first.
It's true.
So Jane, your streams, your posts, everything you do is just aesthetic, right? So like the costumes, the camera positioning, your cosplays. Do you look back? Do you have like a favorite theme or like a commander pod where everything was just perfect aesthetic? It was I had the best outfit. My group had the best look. We all had the best vibes. Everybody was in character for that. Do you ever look back and be like, this one was it?
I don't know. I would say I really love my in-person games. I think we have a great vibe at the table. It's very kitchen table energy. You're just hanging out with friends. So one of those that was recent that I really had a good time with was the one with Mental Misplay, Phyrexian Hannah, and Cyrus. And we played Secret Partners, but we were playing whatever. And there was just this moment where I had a demon on field, and it does this thing where when you attack, you sacrifice all your permanents, lands included, and then you rip 7 cards off the top, and you get to play any of those for free. But you lose all your lands permanently. And I played this demon in a very inopportune moment. And everyone was like, I could kill Jane right now, but I kind of want to watch this demon destroy her whole board
I want
and
to
do
see what
this
happens.
dumb thing. If people pass the whole turnaround so that I got to do this thing, and I lost immediately afterwards. But we all just like realized what we were here for, and it was for this moment of watching this stupid demon destroy my whole board and just ruin my game plan for me.
Oh, that's funny.
It was exquisite. Exquisite. Great vibes.
See that? I think a lot of Magic is missing that type of attitude. Because that's really what
Yeah.
it's about, in my opinion. Like, I mean, as I'm getting older, and I think Bob is the same way, like, the competitive side of us isn't really as there as it used to be. Now it's just we want to have fun. We want to do the wacky, fun things. And that's really all that matters to us. It's just having fun and doing the crazy things that you might not do hardly at all.
Yeah, if I
It's
blow
so
up
much
my
more fun.
board and go out in a ball of flames, so be it.
Yeah.
Was it Mothman where I milled myself or something like that? I did it just to...
I decked myself in my Watcher of the Water deck accidentally when I thought I was going to win.
Yep.
You have to
I was
control
like-
your own destiny in some way.
I was like, I completely botched that up. Oh, well. And the guys afterwards were like, because we all scooped because we thought I won. And then someone was like, after the fact, Bob, you actually decked yourself. Oh, God.
Did you ever build a deck to go with a specific cosplay or look?
Not really. I cosplay a lot of
challenge.
Universes
There's a
Beyond
challenge.
characters. So like Storm, I don't know, the design didn't really sing to me in the way that I wanted to do something silly with it. Storm's powerful, right?
Yeah.
And it's a winner of a deck, but like I wanted to be her. I didn't want to play that. I think sometimes I've gone the other way around where I have a deck and I want to cosplay the character like Braids.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't have a Doc Ock deck. I'll
I was
build
going
an
to
N
say,
deck. I like
we
the
got to
N
get a
card.
Doc Ock deck going, I think.
Yeah, I did build Venom. That was my Spider-Man one.
So you talked about the DM thing, so let's touch on that a little bit, because I don't think people understand everybody. We talked about this earlier, right? We talked a little bit about the crossover between Magic, role-playing, and stuff, and it's not connected to a lot of people. They don't understand what it is necessarily. They're here for the Magic the Gathering vibes, not the 4-hour Monsters University session, right?
What?
So-
I'm surprised.
That takes some legit creative muscle, right? World building, performance, keeping everyone engaged, ad-libbing. What are your favorite stories to tell in those kinds of worlds?
Well, like I said earlier, I love the magical realism, almost normal kind of story. Even Monsters University is set in Las Vegas, and it's sort of like a school within like a secret area in Las Vegas that only the monsters can get to. And I like that kind of play because it allows for a setting that you don't have to work as hard at, you know? I don't have to build Las Vegas. We all live here, and we know when I say, okay, we're going down Charleston Street towards the main city, you know? We know what that looks like. We have a picture in our heads. I have a picture in my head so I can describe the sunset as we're driving downtown, you know? I like that because it's easy to ground in a space where everyone feels comfortable exploring because they've done it in real life. And now they can do it just with a little flair of magic. You know, you can imagine yourself flying over the streets that you were once driving in real life. So that's the piece of my creative sort of thing that D&D really hits for me. And I know there are lots of D&D games that I've played in where I'm a silly elf or something, or, you know, I played in one on MTG Critical Stream last month where we were in New Phyrexia, and it was a fun hope story of, you know, hope against all odds kind of thing.
Was it a one shot?
Yeah, it was like a 4-shot right through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I think we had some really big story notes. We told the sort of, you know, all is not lost in times of trouble story that we all needed in this moment to hear. And that's the other thing about D&D is it can really give you catharsis. It can let you work through what is happening to you, maybe politically and socially, in a way where you can just bash someone's head in and get those emotions out with your friends in a comfortable and safe space. D&D always provides that for me, you know? I play a horrible villain, or, you know, I play my cute little, you know, angel who likes to make sponge cake for her friends, you know. D&D lets you be all of these people at once, and all at the same time.
Especially as the DM, you get to play multiple characters in a session for sure. So let's touch on Monsters University, because we've talked about it, but I don't think our audience knows what Monsters University is. So
I don't
No,
know
no
what it
one's
is other
watched
than
it.
the movie.
Thank you for the 4 people who watched the entire thing.
I popped into one of these as I was researching, and it was like, if you're not 18 or older, get the frig out of here. And that's how it opened, Jesse. And I was like, shit, we're in
So
it
it's
now.
not the movie then.
So this is 18 plus monster on monster action, if you know what I mean. So is this like your own homebrew? Because
it is, yeah.
That's not something I ever considered to be in the role-playing space. But man, there's got to be a huge market for that. We're missing out here. We gotta do something here.
There is, and let me tell you, it's the girlies. I'm going to use my one F-bomb, my PG-13. Oh, I used it. No! The girlies have been monster enthusiasts, let's say, since the beginning of time. You know, it's that thing where would you choose the bear or the man, and we choose the bear, and also the bear is hot.
That is something. So you had to build. Is this your world? Like this is your thing. So, oh my gosh.
I took a lot of inspiration from other people's worlds.
I didn't think Monsters University was in Vegas, but now it's not the movie, so now I know.
There is no Sully, okay?
Yeah, I was thinking
There's
Sully.
There's an entire D&D system that's called Monsters, School of Monsters or something like that. Oh, Monster Hearts, that's what it is. And it's set in a high school, so I aged it up a little bit so we could get sexier. And I stole sort of the vibes from it, but it has a mechanics system, and I didn't like how complicated the mechanics system was. So, of course, I didn't just homebrew the world, I homebrewed my mechanics to make it much simpler. I was playing with a bunch of my friends who hadn't ever played RPGs before. So I wanted to give them a system with just 3 stats, and they just have a button that they click that rolls that stat. And they were fight, flirt, and a third F word that I can't say on this channel anymore.
Okay, so, that's awesome.
It was really fun. It was very silly. You know, it was just me putting my friends in a bunch of fun scenarios and playing around. And, you know, I hope they had a blast. I sure did.
I mean, and if you're listening out there, it is on Jane's YouTube. You don't have to scroll very far. There's some cool stuff there. There is some cool
at
other
your
stuff.
Own risk.
That's also true.
Make sure you do it when your kids are in bed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel the pressure to just always be on when you hit that go live button? Like, do you hype yourself up before you go live, or it's just it seems like to me it comes naturally, but I'm assuming that you have to do something to kind of get in that mindset.
I am a person with a big energy. You know, I'm loud. You notice me in a room when I come in, but I do have the ritual, you know, for getting ready. I have my little nails that I put on. I, you know, do my makeup. I always take a minute and make sure that I am like centered and emotionally ready to perform, because it's really hard to sort of pour out from a space where you don't have anything poured into you. So there are ways that, you know, you have to take care of yourself before you go live. But yeah, I'm a very boisterous person naturally. Some may call me other words.
that is something, because Jesse, I mean, you're streaming live more with your Marvel Snap content and everything. Do you ever find that, like, oh God, Christ, I can't do this tonight? And do you ever pull the ripcord on it and just say, no, this ain't happening. I'm not forcing myself to do this. Like, that's so healthy.
Yeah, there's been multiple times where usually it's during the week because I am just eternally tired and need to sleep. It's getting easier now that I'm getting more viewers. When you're only streaming,
interaction energizes you for sure.
When you're getting one person, or it's probably a bot or those stupid spam accounts that just hop on and say, hey, click here for my viewers, that kind of deflates you. But as you get more and get actual people engaging and interacting with you, it makes me want to do it.
Yeah.
So, but there's been multiple times.
It's easier when you know you're going to hang out with your friends.
Exactly. And when you start getting that kind of community going where you have people coming back and you know them and you see them, and for me, I'm starting to see them in other people's streams too, and they're like, oh, hey, Jesse, how's it going? That makes it a lot easier to actually stream and not just say, okay, I'm going to bed. But I still do that. Like, I was going to stream last night and I fell asleep on my couch, so that didn't happen.
That's how it's done. I love it. That's dad energy right there.
Mm.
Getting the kids up at 6, getting them to school, you know. I'm lucky if I make it past 9 o'clock these days.
All right, so we have reached the flavor text or song lyric portion of the podcast. Mm-hmm. Jesse, do you have one ready?
I actually got a couple of them. I got some new ones.
I do too. We actually went through all our list last podcast, so we were empty.
Yep, I have some that I have one I want to do, but I'm 99.9% sure you're not going to get it. I have a feeling how does that any different
from any other?
I have a feeling that Jane might know it. I have a feeling Jane might know it.
It's a Hex Girls lyric.
You should do that then. So here's the game. Jesse and I will read a couple lines of text, and it's on us to guess whether it is a music lyric or card flavor text. And Jane, you get to play along because you are our guest. And at the end, we will reveal which was which. So we have a little bit of time to kind of think it over as we continue the interview. You okay if I read first tonight, Jesse?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So mine is...
She's writing it down.
Getting a notebook.
I love this. Mine is infinite dreams. I can't deny them. Infinity is hard to comprehend.
Ooh.
Oh boy. Okay. I have a hunch of at least, like, if it's song lyrics or flavor text, but I have a hunch. So mine is a world that sends you reeling from decimated dreams. Your misery and hate will kill us all.
Jesse really walks the line between flavor text and song lyrics every time, because
I did do so. Some backstory here, Jane. The first time we ever did this, I went and found a metal band that made Magic the Gathering songs. So they were literally singing about Urza and the Brothers' War. What's that?
Was it the Planeswalkers?
It was about the Brothers' War with Urza and his brother. And
My friend Jason Ashcraft is in that band.
Oh, really? So they were singing songs about Magic. So it was like totally not fair. It wasn't fair.
They're rad, honestly. Go check them out, y'all. The Planeswalkers.
That's something. So before we go crazy with this, when I say Jesse's kind of walking the line between flavor text and a song lyric, like in my mind, that popped into my head. That's a black card, right? If that is flavor text on a card, I think it's a black card. But I don't know. Stay tuned and we'll find out. Damn it.
I try to get obscure, but the last couple I've done has been, to me, it's been obvious, but that's me.
I got one of the obvious and I completely punted the other obvious one.
We both did the same song the same week because it was Ozzy, because Ozzy died. And we both picked the same song and the same lyric. It was pretty funny.
Wow.
That was really funny. So when we spoke in Atlanta, Jane, we're going to get a little bit more serious now for the second half of this interview.
Serious part.
I talked about you, and one of our goals for our interviews always is getting to know you as the full person who you are, right? Pull back the curtain a little bit, if you will. And with that comes your day job, the sex work, right? And I really respect that because you've been open about your day job and how it intersects with the rest of your life online, right? And we see some of that bleeding into Monsters University, obviously, right?
I did Monsters University before I was a Safe for Work creator.
What?
Yeah. That was just a fun project for me.
So how do you find that balance being like authentic without feeling like you have to explain yourself?
I guess I've been really lucky in that I just haven't been questioned that often, you know? Of course, there have been some incidents. Every community has its people who are not going to be cool about it, and that's fine. That's their prerogative. But it hasn't really been much of an issue, you know? I separate my accounts a little bit so people don't see both if they don't want to. You can opt in. But, you know, it's not that big of a deal. It's the reason that I have all of the equipment and the capacity to be able to do this. You know, just the way people are, you know, have a 9-to-5 that helps them become a Magic creator.
I was wondering if that was part of your influence for you're like, well, I already have all the lighting. I have the mics. Why don't I just stream Magic the Gathering on Twitch? This is a fun hobby and I already have all this stuff.
Yeah, I just had a VR 360 camera. So filmed a whole episode in Atlanta.
My setup is somewhat similar, not the same vein, but like all of the equipment I'm using now, I also use for work because I work from home. So it's like I'm just use the same equipment. The internet can be brutal, obviously, for judging what they don't understand. Do you feel like the Magic community has been pretty more accepting than other communities?
Yeah, I really do. I think the queer influence in the Magic the Gathering community is huge. You know, I think there's a lot of us, and many, many queer people have been tangentially involved in sex work or are more accepting of it than, you know, more mainstream kind of communities. And it's been easy to find my people here. And they're so supportive and so full of love, and they absolutely don't care. And I appreciate that so much.
That is something that my eyes have been open to that in the Magic community over the last couple of years as I've kind of moved into the content space and everything. And it's like, I went from kind of sheltered F&M grinder to picking up Commander again, talking with everybody, and then being like, you know, I guess I'll just hit that live button on our Commander pods. And then, oh, what else can we do? And then you start talking to people and getting to know them. And you're like, there is a huge, huge queer community in the Magic space that I didn't know about that I'm upset that I didn't know about, because there's some freaking awesome people to talk to.
And
And
here's
it's like,
the thing. We don't play at the LGS. I didn't go play at an LGS for a long, long time. I played with my friends at home because I just didn't feel like I could walk into an LGS and sit down across from somebody and like be respected in the same way that I am at home.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a cis het guy and I don't feel like I can walk into an LGS. They're just, they're too,
it's
they're
not exactly
too
a
sweaty.
fun and welcoming space.
That's not it, man.
There are some cool shops in Las Vegas. You know, every city has its cool spots, and some of the places are places where queer people hang out. You know, I went to a commander shop last night, and there were like, you know, lots of women in the room, and like, okay, I love it.
That had to be pretty cool. Like the second you open the door and you're like, well, this space is welcoming. Good.
Yeah, like the spaces that me and like Bob, I think you can remember this. Anytime a girl or woman came into our F&M shop, everybody just like, girl, like just like was just a typical
I have experienced
room
the
full
stare.
of boys. Yeah.
And it's not only that. I mean, it's literally the stereotypical too, like, all right, what are your magic credentials? Did your boyfriend build you? I mean, the actual stereotypes coming out and it's like, come on, people.
Like we've heard people literally ask, did your boyfriend build that for you? Like it was sick.
It's maddening. Absolutely mad. And that's part of the reason why I don't do the LG. And like Jesse said, the competitive fire is out, so why go? Pre-release, I'll just buy the cards and get the dopamine hit from opening packs. So another thing that stood out, Jane, is basically like how chill you are about your job. And that's just part of who you are. Do you think talking about sex work openly helps normalize it for people who only know the world through stereotypes?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's important. You know, everyone has watched television and seen the, you know, dead sex worker jokes and whatever and thinks that's hilarious. But, you know, it's a little different when you know these people as your friends. The same way, you know, if you were a person who is not in the queer community at all and you meet a queer person, your perspective changes. It does change how you view the world. You can only as a person, you know, have so many strangers in your head and care about them. But the second that gets a face, it gets a real like energy to it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's harder to wish me ill, I would hope.
I don't wish any human ill at this point in my life. I've matured to that point, really. Well, there's some people in power right now, but anyway,
we're not
going to turn this into a political podcast. Jane, you also mentioned that so many people in your line of work, and I don't remember where you said this, like they just need to be humanized in the sense like they're a bunch of nerds like us. And
so true.
Gaming, anime, Magic the Gathering, crocheting, you name it. Like I feel like even like I caught like Siri Doll in an interview and she's like, yeah, I do nerdy shit. Who do you think I am? Like I'm not on camera all the time.
Yeah.
And it just cracked me up because that's so true across so many spaces. So what is it about the sex work industry you think makes for that overlap? Because the more I'm learning, the more it seems like everybody's got the nerdy hobbies on the side. Like,
you know what sex work is? It's going to a place, dressing up in an outfit and playing a role. You're LARPing.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. And the crossover between the people who enjoy that kind of role play, that kind of adult play in the other sense, you know, they're going to enjoy it in the fun sense too, in the, you know, non-sexual kind of just for play kind of sense also. Because it's about telling a story with people that connects to people's emotions. And, you know, that's fun.
There's a light bulb just went up over my head on that.
It's true.
You connected the dots that I was missing there. That just makes so much sense. It's
also,
like
we have time. We have time in our schedules to do this.
Do you ever feel like you had to deal with extra stigma because, as a creator, because of that part of your life?
I mean, yeah, there are opportunities that have been taken from me and from others who do the same job. You know, I'm not going to name any names or anything, and I'm moving past that. It's okay. The people who don't want to work with me will filter themselves out. And the people who are here to kind of build a better community together, they're going to work with me. And there's no sense in stressing myself out about people who are never going to convert to my position.
That's a good point.
On the flip side, what has been the most positive surprise? Like, do you have people who have showed up and supported you branching into Magic that you didn't expect them to do?
Yes. You know, my fans who have come to watch me play Magic also are the realest, and I love them. Thank you. You support my silly little venture from becoming just a thing where I thought I was going to do this for a couple months and then, you know, we'll find something else that is going to really bring the eyes in. But this ended up being it. And, you know, I've had 2 fans in particular who have been subscribers to my Twitch channel since day one. You know, Shell, Ringo, thank you so much. If you're a fan, you've said hello to them. They're my little welcome greeters in the chat. I love them. I do think that if you are a person who commands a community, if you are a person who people want to hang out with, they'll follow you anywhere. It doesn't matter what kind of stuff you're doing. If you are online, they want to see you.
I just love how you're normalizing all this, right? Just existing authentically.
Yeah.
And I mean, who doesn't love just being horny on main anyway every once in a while? I mean, isn't that the dream? Especially in our blue sky world, right? It's much safer for that there. But like, what would you say to listeners, anybody who's going to listen to this podcast, who's struggling to show up as their full selves, whether it's their career, their gender identity, or just feeling no sense of belonging? What would you say to these people?
Well, the first thing I want to say is you're welcome in the Hottie Pod. So come on by. You know, we are trying to create that space that maybe wasn't there. And I think that's really, really important. Like I said at the beginning, that representation, the purple tables, the bop space, the gathering grounds, all of that is so important because it shows that you are a part of this community too, and you are welcome here. That stigma is real, you know? Even, I mean, you joke about being horny on main, and I'm a little spicy on main, but that's not my main.
Right.
I have the separate account. People have to have that opportunity to opt into that kind of stuff. Even still, there is this stigma, and that's real. And I don't want to deny that or deny the pain that causes people in any way. But I want to say that you can live without that destroying you. You can move past that, and you can bring the little queer joy that you want to see in the world.
Little queer joy you want to see in the world. I'm going to put that on a coffee cup at this point, because that's where it's at. We're going to TikTok shop that. All the proceeds are going to go somewhere, and we're going to make that happen.
I love it. Trans Lifeline.
So you've built such an intentional space around all of this inclusion and kindness, looking at where magic is at and content creation are now. What's something you'd like to see the community get a little bit better at still?
Maybe I would like us to be a little more positive. I know there are a lot of things to complain about, and boy, does the algorithm love it when you complain.
It sure does.
Yeah,
but you can also make a thing about something that you like, you know, and you can enjoy magic authentically in a way that is fun and filled with, you know, the theater and the drama. I remember when I very first started playing, I wouldn't call instance. I would call them for the drama. I play this. I think
role playing again.
Yeah, it goes back to role playing.
Bring a little bit of that to your table. Honestly, it's worth it to let yourself be the little weird freak first, you know? It opens up the rest of the table to be this for you too, you know?
That's true.
And then you get to enjoy your friends' weird voices when they play Sauron or whatever.
I'm trying to think what voices I would do for some of my decks. It would be like what would
It'd be goblins, like? Jesse? You'd be
yeah. Like, I don't know what Brock would sound like. The commander tables these days are more diverse than ever, which is amazing. What has been the most encouraging shift you've seen over the last year or so?
You want a spicy take for this one? Here it is. It's Universes Beyond. The girlies love it. They really, really do, you know? And the people who come in to play Universes Beyond, they're so excited. They're like, I'm playing my favorite character. And like, that joy is so infectious. I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan, you know, I'm not a huge Marvel fan at all, but like, man, did I have fun playing with the people who were huge Spider-Man fans. And I found the character that I love in it. And I built a whole deck around him. And like, you know, there's something to find that is enjoyable in every piece of Magic, I think. And if you aren't finding that, maybe you need to take a little break for a minute and play something else. Find some other joy in your life.
I think that's a really interesting perspective on Universes Beyond. I think it's a fair perspective. Like, I would disagree, but for different reasons. But if you think of me and Jesse as archivists of Magic the Gathering, right, 30 years background, where Universes Beyond is kind of crammed down our throats now all of a sudden, that we're going to have a different experience than someone who was literally brought in to the game from Lord of the Rings. And damn it, I love Lord of the Rings. That set was friggin' awesome.
It was fun.
Amazing.
It was fun to draft. It was fun to play.
So good. And then I look at, you know, unfortunately for me, I've never watched Avatar. I was a little aged out of it when it came out. I tried watching it again. My life is so busy. I can't sit down and focus to actually watch it to really dig in. So this set's going to miss me. But your point is still valid. It's going to bring people in. It's going to bring new perspectives in. My concern is, are they all going to stay? What percentage of them are staying? And the percentage that do stay, are they good for the game? Are they bad for the game? Is it a mix? Is it a freaking bell curve like everything else in life that we have, you know? But your point still remains, right? Universes Beyond is bringing in new faces, new perspectives from people that didn't even have Magic the Gathering on their radar.
Mm.
I will say my kids, they're 9 and 6, and the My Little Pony Secret Lair, they
So
still
good.
play with that. And now that K-pop Demon Hunters is going to come to Magic, they are like, every day they're like, is it out yet, Dad? Is it out yet, Dad? Is it out yet, Dad? It's like they just announced it. Give them some time to make the cards.
My kid asked me to go see Zootopia 2 today, and I was like,
Same
buddy,
here.
it's not even in theaters yet, pal. I know McDonald's is giving out toys.
We literally rewatched Zootopia 1 last night because of the McDonald's toys.
This is Jesse and I live the same life sometimes. Just I have a 5-year-old boy and he has 2 girls. So when people, Jane, sit down to your channel or play a game of Magic with you, what is what you hope that they take away from their experience, right? You talk about your Hex Girl pods. You talked about the demon pod that was hysterical, right? What's the experience that you want people to walk away from every time they play a game of Magic the Gathering with you?
You know, I hope people forget who won and lost the game and remember the drama. That's what I am trying to bring to every pod. That's what I love about the mini games. That's what I love about, every different kind of thing that I bring to Commander. It's all trying to enhance that one thing, which is like the exciting play, the moment where everyone stands up from the table and yells for a second, the drama of the gathering. And that's what I'm here for.
Is there any projects or collabs or new decks that you're excited about that you can tease for us?
Anything that nobody's heard of yet?
Okay. We'll do a little thing that nobody's heard of. This month I'm going to be at SCGCon, so if you are in Vegas for that, check me out there. They don't do cosplayers or anything. It's very much a sweaty grinder thing, so I'll be there playing Magic, but we can hang out. We can get a game in. I will be in Shoebox in March. Hopefully I will be doing some cosplaying. I will definitely be there for Birds of Paradise, doing Gathering Ground stuff. And I may or may not be running a Secret Partners minigame, so we'll see. And then in Vegas, of course, nothing is confirmed yet, but I'm going to be doing cosplays. You may catch me doing another trivia. I may or may not paint myself blue again. We'll see. I will tell you a little tease of a cosplay that I'm going to do on Sunday, I think. People are getting together to do like a Showgirls cosplay. I know people have done that in the past. I'm going to do a Showgirl version of Anya Falconwrath. I'm very excited about that.
Okay. And of course, in my brain, it's always been Anji, but it's not. It's literally Anya, because that's how the J works in that, Bob.
Oh, wait. I always say Anji, too.
See? I could see the look in Jesse's eyes when she said that. I was like...
Well, I didn't mean to blow your minds, but, I do think she says it Anya. I'm
pretty sure you're
German
right.
Or something, right?
I'm pretty sure you're right. That's so funny. So, Last question. We've reached the last question. Wow, this has flown by. So for fun, outside of MTG, we know you have your DM hobbies and other stuff, but what's one hobby or fandom that's really still keeping your attention?
Okay, here's something I'm obsessed with. I have only just started this in the past couple weeks, but it has taken over every spare moment of my life.
I'm here for it.
The Devil's Plan. This is like a game show, TV show, and it's got everything that I need. It's a reality TV show. It's about money. So they're like, dangling money over these people's head, making them do all these things. It's got puzzles in it. And then every day they're doing a different puzzle. But then on top of that, there's a meta puzzle, like a puzzle above the puzzle that they have to solve. And so I don't know. I don't want to tell anything else, honestly, because the magic of learning it with the players is so good. It's on Netflix. You should watch it. I know it's dubbed.
You beat me to it.
Keep watching it. It's okay. It's really, really good. It's a game show for people who want to do math a little bit. So that's my pitch for all you Magic nerds. It's so good.
Huh. Have you watched Is It Cake?
I have watched Is It Cake?
That's all my kids are watching too.
Is It Cake fan.
They watch that all the time.
It's like
the whole family thing where we all vote to see who thinks it's cake or not and who's right.
I'm so bad at it.
Yeah.
It's surprising to me how bad at it I am.
Man, here I thought you were talking about blue red cake. I was like, is it cake? That's the magic nerd.
No. Actual is my phone cake or is it a real phone?
Niv Mizzet makes a cake. Sorry. Look, it wouldn't be a Gamer Dad podcast without a little cringe from me, okay?
I thought you meant Niv Mizzet thighs kind of cake, but no, we were talking cake. Okay.
All right. We're back to the flavor text or lyrics. God,
Okay.
Jesse. All right, so mine, I'm going to read it again.
Say, let's read them
Infinite
again.
dreams, I can't deny them. Infinity is hard to comprehend.
I think it's a song lyric.
I'm going to go flavor text. There we go. We're split.
Ooh.
And it sounds like a Dream Theater song, but I don't
It's
know
not Dream
enough.
Theater.
But is it a song? It's a song though. Maybe
Hmm.
like
Jesse is right. It is a song.
maybe like
So,
Blind
Jane-
Guardian.
Jane, I'm curious. Did you think it was a blue card?
I would have thought something colorless, Eldrazi, or
Colorless.
something horrible.
Okay, I like that too.
Something
So
from
thi-
Zendikar.
This is Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden. Yep.
This is
Okay.
Infinite Dreams by Iron Maiden.
Zendikar
Um,
vibes.
Love that band. So I was like, let me
Did you
pull
get the
something
secret
that
layer?
sounds like
The
that.
Iron Maiden secret layer.
I do. I got some. They're right here, actually.
Nice.
Ooh, so
they
shiny.
look so good.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
Badass.
Eddie.
I didn't get all of the ones I wanted because, well, secret layer cues suck. But I did accidentally get the encyclopedia one. Like I joined an hour late. It queued me up for 15 minutes, and I was like, well, shit. Now I gotta buy it instead of like that queue makes no sense to me. And I'm not going to go on a
No.
secret layer rant here at the end, but
No.
I did
They-
get
they
some
should
of the
print on
Maiden
demand.
stuff.
Like they'd make so much more money if it's print on demand.
Believe it or not, I ran some numbers. Their scarcity model actually gets them more money.
I bet it
Yeah,
does.
because they can inflate the prices.
Well, I mean, not only that, but they get to sell out. They get to put that to their stockholders that they sold out of a product. It's a long.
Yep.
I'm going to put a blog post about it eventually on my Bob's theories. Again, I have no full data backing it, but I think the scarcity method is actually making Wizards more money. But anyway, Jesse,
It's
can
definitely drawing the hype. People
you
are talking
read
about it.
your flavor text or song lyric for me again?
So
please?
mine is a world that sends you reeling from decimated dreams. Your misery and hate will kill us all.
See, it doesn't rhyme that much, and that's why I'm struggling to say it's a song lyric.
You said I might know it, so I'm going for flavor text.
Yeah, my head says flavor text as well, and I think it's a black card, but I don't know which.
You are both wrong.
Ooh,
It
okay.
is a song lyric, but black is in the name. It is Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance.
Oh, okay,
See,
okay.
Jesse knows I don't listen to them.
Yeah.
You're trying to get my emo roots. I see.
Yeah. But it's I read it in a way where it won't like sound like a song. I try to do that because
Mhm.
a lot of the stuff I pick does rhyme. So I try to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we try to read them neutral so that they don't read as like because if I started singing "Infinite Dreams," I
Yeah.
can't deny them. Then you know it's a song
Then you would
lyric.
know. Yeah.
That blows the whole
You
shit.
said
So
to sing
welcome
the
to the
flavor
Black
text, too.
Parade. Black was in there.
Fine, my brain had something right. I don't know. That was fun. Jane, this has been absolutely awesome. I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you for being so open, creative, letting us peel back the curtain on everything you do.
Yeah. Here we are in just my green screen. I didn't even go to
Yes.
Phyrexia today.
Before we wrap up, the floor is yours. Plug whatever you want. Tell us where you're going to be next. Tell us where we can find your stuff. Give us the full Jane experience.
Ooh, okay. Well, the full Jane experience. Welcome to the Hottie Pod. Come by on Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific time at twitch.tv/JaneJudge. That's where we're playing silly stuff. Tomorrow, I guess maybe if you are live here, you'll see this, but you won't know otherwise. We'll be playing CEDH tomorrow. We're playing a silly mini game every week, so stop by, except for when I'm at SCGCon later this month. Then you can catch me there instead at Las Vegas.
Perfect. Everybody, if you're not already following Jane, although I have a big feeling you already are, go follow Jane. She's
Thank
doing
you.
some awesome stuff for the community. Thank you again for joining us. Jesse, any final words of wisdom tonight?
My parting words are magic teaches us many things. Mostly that hope is just a card before the board wipe. Be awesome out there, and we'll see you next time. I took yours.
You stole my line. Guys, be awesome out there. We'll see you next time.
Be gay, do crime.